What's going on, everybody? I am Blazing Nico and we are back with yet another shoe review. Today we have a shoe that has so much history. It's a true classic to Jordan Brand. Today we have the Jordan 13 Playoff. The Jordan 13 Playoff released on February 18th, 2023 during the All-Star break in Salt Lake City, Utah. The Jordan 13 Playoff released for a retail price of $210. The Jordan 13 Playoff was a pretty widely available shoe. They released on Nike Sneakers app, of course, along with retail shops such as Dick's Sporting Goods, Foot Locker, JD Sports, Finish Lines, and other stores like that. The Jordan 13 Playoff is such a classic model. It comes with a lot of history behind it through Jordan Brand throughout its history. He originally debuted these in 1998, I believe, in the All-Star Game, which is huge since we just released these during the All-Star Game of 2023. He also wore these during that playoff run to get his final championship in Chicago. All-Star break usually brings us a couple shoes. You know, they always have the Nike basketball line that releases. I love the LeBron 20s that came out, the KD 15s. I think it's the Giannis 4 or 5s. I forget which model he's on, but for me, the shoe of the weekend was definitely the Playoff 13. I was able to get my pair through that early shock drop that Nike had, I believe, at the beginning of February. It was literally the first week of February. It took a couple weeks for mine to actually come in, but I'm happy I was able to hit on the shock drop and didn't have to worry about release day. The Jordan 13 isn't really a popular model. These went for a little bit over retail, you know, a couple weeks before they actually came out. I think they kind of bottomed out and kind of got back to that retail of maybe 20 bucks above. We'll go through that later on in the video, but Jordan 13s aren't really sought after, but for me, I love Jordan 13s. I had to grab this classic, such a beautiful, simple shoe. Always love the little yellow hits on the tongue, on the tab of the shoelaces. Such a classic shoe, won't be leaving the collection. So happy to have these. As I mentioned earlier, I am a Jordan 13 fan. I have the Bred 13s already in my collection. One of my favorite shoes in my top 10 shoes of all time. So I definitely had to add the Playoffs to that collection. Taking a quick look at these, you can see that the Bred 13 has that kind of mesh upper that we're kind of used to on some of our classics, such as the Bred 13 and the Flint. And the Playoff has that leather upper with the suede, just like the He Got Game 13s and the Playoff 13s as well. As always, let's take a quick look at the resale market. For the most part, it is in the lower 200s for most sizes. It starts to creep up a little bit more when you get to that 10.5, so almost 250. Then you get a little bit higher, 258 for that size 11.5. 14, you know, sometimes the bigger sizes have more out there pricing. If we look at StockX, it's about the same, $230 for a size 10.5, which is my size. Look at the size chart, it's about the same. The 11.5 is a little cheaper on StockX. Funny story about these, I actually owned these in their last retro back in 2011, so about 12 years ago. My foot was growing. I was in high school, I believe, early high school years. So I went from, I think, a size 9 to a size 9.5, 10 within the span of a year. So I had to end up selling these because I couldn't fit them anymore. They were too small for my feet. So I sold these to one of my best friends. And you know, times back then, we barely even had jobs if we were getting allowance from our parents. So he scraped together all the money he could get. He was giving me change and all, pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. Hey, money was money. We got it done. He knows who he is. One of my best friends to this day. He actually gifted me this shirt. In 2022, Jordan Brand finally gave us back the playoff 12s, and we got the playoff 13s in 2023. And rumor has it we're supposed to get the playoff 8s to the OG specs with the red pull tab at the end of 2023. So I'll definitely be adding them to my Jordan playoff collection. With the Jordan 13 playoff having so much history and me loving the classic model of the Jordan 13, it was a shoe I definitely had to grab for my collection. It won't be leaving. As always, I want to thank you guys for always supporting me, watching the videos, sharing with friends and family. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, thank you.